Vladimir Putin leaps to Donald Trump's defense. Russian President Vladimir Putin has accused the outgoing U.S. administration of trying to undermine President-elect Donald Trump by spreading fake allegations. Russian President Vladimir Putin scorned people who make up such falsifications that are currently spread about the U.S. president-elect, saying they were worse than prostitutes during a joint press conference with his Moldovan counterpart Igor Dodon in Moscow, Monday. Commenting on the recent dossier concerning U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's alleged sexual activities in a Moscow hotel, Putin said, "I can hardly imagine that he ran into a hotel to meet with our girls with low social responsibility, given Trump was engaged in the organization of beauty contests and communicated with the most beautiful women in the world for many years. Prostitution is a serious, ugly social phenomenon because many women are involved in it as they have no other way to provide themselves. And it is pretty much the fault of the society and the state. But people who make up such falsifications that are currently spread about the U.S. president-elect, that are invented and used in the political struggle, those people are worse than prostitutes. They have no moral restraints," said Putin. Putin claimed not having met and acquainted with Trump, he had no reason either to attack him, criticize him for something, or to defend him. Furthermore, Putin stated it was complete nonsense to think that Russian security service chases American billionaires once they set foot on Russian soil. The Russian leader also took a swipe at the departing Obama administration, saying there is a category of people who leave without saying goodbye, out of respect for the present situation and in order not to disturb anything. But there are people who are endlessly bidding farewells but do not leave. In my opinion, the outgoing U.S. administration falls in the second category. We can see a major continuation of the political fight in the U.S. despite the fact that the political elections are finished and they ended with a convincing victory of Mr. Trump. Last week, the BuzzFeed website published a dossier compiled by a former British intelligence officer at the request of Trump's political opponents that made numerous allegations about Trump, among which were allegations of ties with Russian intelligence services due to alleged compromising material said services had on Trump, stemming from a trip the businessman took to Moscow in 2011. Russian President Vladimir Putin has accused the outgoing U.S. administration of trying to undermine President-elect Donald Trump by spreading fake allegations. Putin, speaking at a news conference on Tuesday, described the dossier full of unverified explosive claims about Trump as part of efforts by President Barack Obama's administration to undermine the legitimacy of the president-elect despite his convincing victory. Asked about the dossier, which includes an unverified account of Trump's alleged sexual activities at a Moscow hotel, Putin dismissed it as fake and said the people who ordered it to be written were worse than prostitutes. Trump arrived and straight away rushed to meet with Moscow prostitutes. This is an adult man and, apart from that, is a man who for many years took part in organizing beauty contests, Putin said. He has socialized with the most beautiful women in the world. I find it difficult to believe that he ran to a hotel to meet with our girls have reduced social responsibility. Putin said the idea that Russian intelligence had monitored Trump to gather compromising material on him was total nonsense and reiterated that he had never met Trump. When he came to Moscow, and I can't even remember when that was, he wasn't any sort of political figure. We didn't even know about his political ambitions. Trump has rejected the allegations as fake news and phony stuff. Trump dossier explained. Putin also claimed that some now want to stage a Maidan in Washington in reference to the alleged U.S. role in organizing protests in the main square of the Ukrainian capital, which has the nation's Russia-friendly president from power in 2014. On Tuesday, Ukraine filed a case against Russia at the United Nations highest court, accusing Moscow of illegally annexing Crimea and illicitly funding separatist rebel groups. Russian President Vladimir Putin says the outgoing U.S. administration is trying to undermine Donald Trump. Woman to file lawsuit against Trump. A woman who accused Trump of sexually inappropriate conduct will announce the filing of a lawsuit against him today, civil rights lawyer Gloria Allred revealed, according to The Hill. The woman, who has not been yet named, will hold a news conference on Tuesday in Los Angeles. From Gloria Allred. A Trump accuser is holding a PC at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time to announce the filing of a lawsuit against the president-elect. Pic.twitter.com 8CJFCIOD2MR. Trump shrugs off bad polls. Trump will take office this week with an approval rating of 40%, sharply lower than any incoming U.S. president in recent history, a new poll shows. The CNN ORC poll showed Trump lagging more than 20 points behind the ratings of his three most recent predecessors and 44 points below that of President Barack Obama as he prepared to enter the Oval Office in 2009, CNN said. 40% of poll respondents said they approved of the way Trump has been handling the transition period heading into Friday's inauguration. In comparison, Obama had an 84% approval rating ahead of his inauguration. Bill Clinton scored 67% approval in late December 1992 and 61% approved of George W. Bush's transition in poll figures from January 2001, CNN said. Trump has shrugged off the new polls, tweeting that they are phony and rigged. The same people who did the phony election polls and were so wrong are now doing approval rating polls. They are rigged just like before. The New York real estate developer working in government for the first time has presided over a chaotic transition period since his election on November 8. Despite the declining approval ratings, Trump supporters are confident the billionaire businessman will deliver on his campaign vows. "I think Donald will do what he says he'll do. I think he will keep his promises. And I think he's going to make America great again," Mary Ann Tackett, from Tennessee, told News Corporation Australia. Trump's team responds to Brexit strategy. British Prime Minister Theresa May on Tuesday outlined Britain's exit strategy from the EU, saying the UK would seek a trade deal giving the greatest possible access to the market. Trump said Brexit was good for the UK and has already proposed an immediate free trade agreement with Britain. Anthony Scaramucci, who is set to join the Trump administration, reiterated the Republican leader's claims in an interview at the World Economic Forum on Tuesday. Brexit. Theresa May unveils EU exit plan. Asked whether a deal can be negotiated in time for Britain's exit from the EU, which is expected sometime in the spring of 2019, Scaramucci says it would be wrong to take the typical political rubric that you've seen and map that out. Trump, he says, is a hard charger and has got a group of people around him that are very result-oriented. Trade deals have traditionally taken years to cobble together because of diverging interests. Kardashians blamed for Trump's victory. Comedian Chelsea Handler has blamed the Kardashians for Trump's election victory. The staunch Democrat told Variety magazine the media didn't fairly treat Hillary Clinton. When asked what they could have done differently, she replied, "Stop covering Trump so much. They were treating him as an entertainer first. It was a reality show. We've turned into a reality show. I blame the Kardashians, personally. The beginning of the end was the Kardashians. The way these people have blown up and don't go away, it's surreal. Everyone is for sale. We're looking at a man that gets mad at Vanity Fair for reviewing his restaurant poorly." The U.S. TV star is leading a women's solidarity march in Park City, Utah, on Saturday and has urged people to join her to fight against those who wish to turn back the clock to the dark ages. Iran. Trump's talk on nuclear deal mainly slogans. Iran's president has compared talk of renegotiating its nuclear accord to converting a shirt back to cotton and says Trump's talk of doing so is mainly slogans. Trump has strongly criticized the deal struck with world powers, in which Iran agreed to curb its uranium enrichment in exchange for sanctions relief, but has not said what he plans to do about the agreement. Iran's President Hassan Rouhani told reporters on Tuesday that renegotiation has no meaning at all. He added that Mr. Trump has so far made many remarks on the deal. "These are mainly slogans. I do not see it likely that something happens in practice." The agreement also included Russia, China, Britain, France, and Germany. None have expressed interest in scrapping the agreement or restoring sanctions.